Good. All right.
How's it going?
Good. Got Doug here, AquaFX. You guys see their RODI units in our shop. Their inline TDS meters, replacement media, membranes. What else do we have? Booster pumps. Booster pumps are a big one.
Automatic shut-offs. You name it, we got it. You know, if it needs to get filtered, if you need any sort of stuff for the filter, we have everything. We build it all in-house right here in Winter Park, Florida, and we can build everything from scratch, you know. Everybody calls us up, they want something custom, we can make it happen.
So somebody gets an RODI unit, they take it home, they hook it up, it says it's supposed to be good, 100 gallons a day, it's not spitting out 100. But they think the pressure gauge looks good because they think it looks like a lot of pressure. What should they be seeing on the pressure gauge? What makes them need a booster pump versus not need a booster pump?
So in between 40 and 80 is our recommended pressures. You know, typically if you're under 40, yes, highly recommend a booster pump. Not only 40 pounds, we've done research where we've implemented 38 psi coming in. The total dissolved solids coming out of the membrane was at 16 parts per million. We doubled that pressure on the membrane, same water, same temperature, and it started coming out at 6 parts per million. That means your DI life just tripled in lifespan. So the pressure,
so the higher pressure that goes through, the more you're going to get out. So really, you want to get up towards the 80.
Exactly.
So even people that are like 40, 50, that they're saying they're running through too much.
If they're burning their resins, the first thing I'm going to ask is what's their pressure, and then the one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the resin's getting chewed up sometimes from chlorines. You know, a lot of people they're like, hey, I want to go in and go get the RODI so I don't make it at my house anymore, but they don't look into the fact that their cities does with chlorine. And that's the difference between A and B. Not alone the pump, but just the 3 filters across the bottom versus 4. That's going to be the difference between whether it's doing chloramines, whether it's doing double DI, how much water volume. It kind of just varies between those.
Okay. Awesome.
There's a lot to take in. I definitely encourage a lot of people when they're looking for new systems to check that. That's like one of my first things. Hey, did you check the water quality report before going in and buying the unit? That way you can know if there's chlorine or if you need the double carbon for chlorine. The double carbon is long contact time. That's the key to removing the ammonia.
Okay. So where you see sediment, carbon, then membrane, then DI. That's how ours is set up.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's typically a removal from chlorine.
Now, a lot of people will come in, their DI is used up, they replace their sediment, carbon, DI. Then you hear a lot of times your carbon can last a second time. What's your take on that? Do they have to replace all 3 as soon as the DI? Does it depend on what's going through?
It's going to solely depend on what's coming out of
So
that
lower
membrane.
pressure, these could probably get reused if you're burning your DI quick.
This guy's going to be rated versus PSI. When you first start him up, say he reaches up to 60 PSI. In 3 months, if that's dropped 5 PSI, it's time to change that sediment filter.
So just look at where you're at, where your typical water pressure is. When that slows down, sediment gets replaced. Okay.
That's going to be the first one.
So that's how you gauge it.
Yep. Exactly.
All right.
Yep. This one, unfortunately, is just guesstimation. Typically, he's rated for about 500 product gallons. I say product gallons because I'm including the waste stream already.
Yep.
The lifespan of this guy's at 2,400.
So that can probably double the DI then, because your DI is not going to get up to 500, depending on where you're at. 150 to 300 is what I hear.
It all depends. So this is rated for 500 product gallons, depending on chlorine content company and also.
So just have a chart and figure out what you're.
Yeah, you can do some calculations, but typically 500 is a nice standard because it's kind of like an oil change. You don't want to run it to 5,000. You know, you want to catch it a little bit before that. And then once you get that taken care of, you know, you're starting back fresh again, and then that means that your membrane's going to last that.
Okay.
The more you keep up on that carbon, the longer this guy lasts, the longer you last, the longer you die.
First,
Now back to the pressure thing or the burning up the DI. Other than calculating how much water you're running through your unit, what's a good way to gauge when to replace the membrane?
A good way to gauge is going to be pretty much TDS. That's about the only way. And then
So check the TDS before the DI.
Before the DI. Coming right out of the membrane. As you see here, we keep it installed right coming. The product water comes out, hits the check valve, hits our TDS meter. So that way we get it right when it comes out of the membrane. We know exactly what is going into that DI filter. That kind of helps us calculate A, how well the membrane's performing, and B, how long the DI is going to last.
So getting an inline TDS meter, triple inline, check it before the unit, after the membrane, after the DI. The little bit that you're going to spend on that TDS meter is going to save you a lot in the long run. Keeping a couple notes on this guy, right above it, what your pressure is when you first set it up, even maybe each time you replace the filter, eventually you'll get a good feel for it. Pressure starts to drop, your sediment needs replaced. Carbon about 500 gallons, which means it could run 2 of the DI. Just try to calculate how much water you're getting out of it. And then this membrane, just keep an eye on your stage after your membrane, see where that TDS is at, and that'll pay for the TDS meter in itself because the membranes aren't cheap. So anything else that you think you need to know?
One thing you did mention is this is 500 gallons. You said something about running 2 in a row for longer life.
Absolutely.
But live as long as the DI. I got the high capacity carbon block, which is like $5 more and gives you triple the life. So this guy's rated for 500 product gallons. This guy's rated for 2,000 product gallons.
There you go. So, everybody hates twisting them off. And when you first set them up, you're going to run some water through there that you really want to bypass anyways. You're going to be doing that a lot less. So especially the people that are really taking care of their units, doing the bypass, going above and beyond, flushing the system, go ahead and spend a little bit extra, get a higher grade carbon, and you're going to be having to mess with them a lot less.
And if they have any questions, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Cool, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.